No matter where you come from, no matter where you're going, here's a place where you can take comfort in the knowing that whether if you've come to stay a while or just passing through, this door is open to you. Come and let's be silent. Come and share a hug. Come, let's pray together. Come, love and be loved. From the blissed out to the turned out, from the pampered to the abused, this door is open to you. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. The God in you. Whether you're black or white, gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist or Jew, this door is open to you. If there's some kind of trouble or pain you're going through, know that you are not alone and someone cares for you. As an individualization of divine point of view, this door is open to you. Oh, this door is open. This door right here, this door is open to you. Is open for you. This door is open to you. This door is open. I'm talking about this door. This door is open. I said this door is open to you. Come on in.
Good morning. We're glad that you have come on in. This door is open for you. It is so good to see your faces this morning, and I would like to ask you to turn and to welcome the faces that we can't see, but we welcome you in spirit and know that you are joining us today. Today's also a very exciting day. It's a day that we do something we've never done before, and that is when we receive new members. We're going to be receiving how many? 8 virtual members as well. So it's a very, very exciting day today. Richard Schulman, our music director, is Jewish. And not only does he celebrate with us at Unity, but he celebrates the tradition of Hanukkah. And so he has lit the candle, the menorah, for us today. We're celebrating Advent. Last week we lit the first candle of hope. And today we light the second candle of peace. Truly it is a season of light. And so we invite you to join us this morning in an opening prayer. We turn our awareness within this morning in the spirit of light, in the spirit of the truth of who we are as an expression of the one light. Just like the different colors of the rainbow, different facets and way of bringing forth a manifestation of the light. Each and every one of us, that is what we are. Today we explore our nature as an energetic being, and we explore what it means to know angels, to know ourselves and others as an angel, to really perhaps expand our understanding of what angel means. And we look through the eyes of the Christmas story. And for this day and this opportunity, we're truly grateful. Thank you, God. And so it is. Amen. If you've not yet sent your cell phone into the silence, it helps if you would turn that off or put it on airplane mode. We greatly appreciate that. I want to acknowledge first our young people. We may have some in the lobby already, but any young people that are in here, children 5 or older, we're currently offering Sunday school. Our ministers, Reverend Gabby and Reverend Barbara Ann. So to any of our young people, we're going to let them know that we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divinity in you. To all of our young people, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divinity in you. Have a wonderful Sunday school experience. I'd also like to acknowledge some new people. I realize that, behind masks, we can't always tell who's who. But I know that we still have newcomers. And if this is your first time at Unity, we would just simply ask you to raise your hand or stand, whatever is most comfortable for you, because we want to welcome any of you that are newcomers. We want to welcome you today. Thank you. It's good to have you here. We also welcome those of you that are streaming that may be watching us for the first time. And so to each newcomer, whether you're here in person or whether you're discovering us for the first time virtually, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divinity in you. Now I'm going to ask you to stand and to just give each other that beautiful namaste greeting as Mary Kay comes up and gets ready for her first song. That to welcome one another in that spirit. And while you're up, to once again welcome our live streamers who are with us today. Mary Kay is going to kick us off with a beautiful song that says, "Angels we have heard on high." I need this chair. Everybody sing along if you know it. Angels we have heard on high, sweetly singing o'er the plains, and the mountains in reply, echoing their joyous strains. Beautiful, Mary Kay. Thank you. I want to thank those of you that purchased a poinsettia in honor and celebration of someone. Those names will be going out on our weekly e-news. I also want to thank Reverend Christy and Gail, Reverend Barbara Ann, and Alicia, who's watching today live stream. They were the Christmas elves who came in and did the decorating, and I want to thank you. And to Jerry Conley, who always comes around every year, and even though she wasn't here this year, she's the one that will look and move the plant, make the adjustment, move the ornament. And so, Jerry, thank you for your faithful work that you always do in keeping this. Thank you. Beautiful, beautiful. I love this season. It really does bring out the kid in me. I'm well aware that it's a season that's bittersweet because it heightens the things that we love. And because of that, it also heightens those areas of loss. And so we really wrap that around it and for each and every one of you. Reverend Christy is joining me. I'm going to ask Bobby Flowers, our Board of Trustee President, to join me. And I'll ask Bobby Flowers if she will pick up the flowers that she brought in this morning. I am so excited, as I mentioned earlier, last year because of COVID, we didn't create the opportunity to receive new members. And I asked myself, well, why? We still have people that are joining and finding us for the first time. And so this year we put out the announcement and said if anybody would like to join, if anybody feels inspired, because you see at Unity, anyone can participate and have a sense of belonging. Membership's not required. There's no creed or dogma or anything that you're asked to adopt. But membership is available because for some people, they say, I'm on a spiritual path, and I realize that when I join my consciousness with the consciousness of others, I grow and I help others grow. And that's what has happened. And today we have 18 individuals, 10 who are local and 8 who are joining us virtually. And so I want to begin by those that perhaps are in the building. And so as I call your name, if you would please come up, and they're going to hand you a certificate, but also a rose. And so if you'll come up when your name is called and just stand up here a few moments. Cindy and Carrie Jacobs, I know I saw you. There you are. Jane Langford. Reverend Karen Patrick. Reverend Karen is a newly ordained unity minister joining us. Reverend Marty Stimmerman, our own Marty Stimmerman. You know, we don't require that staff be members, but most of the time they say, hey, I want to join this community. John and Nancy Thompson, I want to acknowledge they're in Wisconsin today. They couldn't be here. We'll make sure we do a shout out for them next time they're here. But John and Nancy, I hope you're joining us virtually. And then Ellen Vale and Cheryl Ward. Ellen and Cheryl, we're glad to have you today. And then we have Dave Wheeler. Dave, who apparently has a fan club. Rev Christie, I need that little sheet with the cities on it. And now I'm going to invite each of you to take a look at the screen, and I want to welcome in all of our virtual members that are joining us. Diane Amos, who's coming in from Weaverville, North Carolina, close enough that she'll be here some of the time, so welcome Diane Amos. Larry and Nan Fahey. Larry and Nan, we want to welcome you this morning. They are tuning in and joining us from Fremont, New Hampshire. It's good to have you in New Hampshire today. Mary Kellogg. Mary is up bright and early this morning from Aptos, California to join us. Would you welcome Mary Kellogg this morning? Lori Land, also up bright and early from Denver, Colorado. Would you please welcome this morning one of our new incoming members, Lori Land. Gregory and Stephanie Samuel joining us from Englewood, New Jersey by way of Barbados. Greg and Stephanie, so good to have you and to see your face. And that truck driving lady that shows up from time to time from Nashville, Tennessee, Linda Wanamaker. Each of you that are here have been given a rose, and to each of you virtually, you received flowers yesterday with a rose in the middle that we sent to you because we wanted you to know that you are part of this spiritual community. Some of you, like Lori Land, have said you've never joined a church in your entire life, but something has told you, I need to be a part of this consciousness and a part of this community. I want you to look around at each other and what you are creating, and how it's drawing people not to anything that claims to be better than or less than or anything other than a place that recognizes who you are as an expression of all that is, and wants to tell everybody in the world, you are the light of God, you are the love of God, and let us celebrate it with you. I think it's time for that message, and I think that message is healing our world. And so I want you to give yourself a hand for creating that space. And to each and every one of you, I've met with you either in a class or online, and each of you know virtually, you know that this is what you're signing up for. You said, I understand and support the mission and vision of Unity of the Blue Ridge. I choose to demonstrate my support to Unity through prayer, personal involvement, and personal support. I seek to live my highest truth, and I honor and support others as they live their highest truth. I open myself to receive the abundant blessings that are available when I intentionally live my highest truth, and I hereby declare my membership in Unity Church of the Blue Ridge. You're presented with a rose, and those of you at home, there's a rose in the center of your flowers. Because in the Western tradition, the rose is very much like a lotus. Rose is a spiritual symbol, and every rose is unique, yet every rose is the same. It's a rose. Every rose is at a slightly different state in its expression, but you never look at a rose and say, well, when is it perfect? Because a rose can be a perfect seedling, a perfect bud, a perfect bloom, a perfect returning back to the earth from whence it has come. And so each of you, we recognize your perfection in its original expression. To those of you online, we recognize your very unique and original expression right where you are. And so we welcome you into membership. We're looking forward next year to creating some opportunities that we're going to call retreats that we get to sponsor, that any of our viewers, anybody out there that wants to come and visit headquarters here in this sacred portal of the Blue Ridge Mountains, we're going to make you feel so welcome. You may actually want to move. So to each of you, this is what we know to be true. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. Sing it with me behind your mask. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. Would you please stand and give them your welcoming love? We love each and every one of you. Welcome. Welcome. All right, and before you sit down, this side, keep looking this way. This side, go with our live streamers, and we're going to tell them we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divinity in you. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divinity in you. Welcome home. Thank you. You may be seated. Mary Kay Williams.
Placed upon the steps, baby cries. High above, you can hear the church bells start to ring. And the heaviness, oh, it settles in. Somewhere you can hear a mother sing. Then it's one foot, then the other, as you step out on the road. Step out on the road. How much weight, and how long and how far, and how many times before it's too late. Calling all angels, calling all angels, walk me through this one. You won't leave me alone. I'm calling all angels. I'm calling all angels. We're trying, we're hoping. but we know you know how this one goes. And every day you gaze upon the sunset with such love and intensity. Why, it's almost as if you could only crack the code, you'd finally understand what this all means. But if you could, don't you think you would trade it all the pain and suffering? But then you'd have missed the beauty of the light upon this earth and the sweetness of the leaving, calling all angels, calling all angels, walk me through this one. You won't leave me alone. Calling all angels, calling all angels. We're trying, we're hoping, but we know you know. Calling all angels, calling all angels, walk me through this one. You won't leave me alone. Calling all angels, calling all angels. We're trying, we're hoping, we're letting, and we're loving. We're crying, we're calling, 'cause we know you know how this goes.
I heard someone say, wow, that's my sentiments exactly. Mary Kay Williams and our Unity Band, would you show them our love? Calling all angels. Absolutely beautiful. So if you haven't figured out what we're talking about yet today, anybody want to guess? Angels. This is a first for me. I've actually never talked about angels. Perhaps it started with one of our members. Are you here, Jack? Jack Rowe gave me a book not long ago, and little synchronistic things started happening. And so I just knew today it was time for us to talk about angels in the light of Christmas. And to suspend, and I'm going to ask you to suspend what you think about angels, what you believe, what you like, what you don't like. And let's just explore it together anew. Let's look just a little bit about, why would we even talk about angels? Well, it's smack dab in the middle of the Christmas tradition. The Bible stories, the nativity scenes, the carols, the Christmas cards, to the top of our Christmas trees. Angels show up front and center. If you look at the Hebrew, what is the word that is used for angel? It's melach. Melach means messenger, communicator, connector. Angels at their essence are seen as spiritual messengers, representatives of God. We could say representatives of love. That angels, just as we are beings of energy, how many of you know yourself as an energetic being? Well, just as you're a being of energy, what if we thought about angels as just simply another vibration of energy that is actively connecting us to love? And that also means actively connecting us to God. And that also means actively connecting us to our true nature, to ourself. Angels, as I said, certainly show up in the Bible, but they predate the Bible. Angels predate Christianity or Judaism. As a matter of fact, angels show up in the oldest known religion in the world, which is Zoroastrianism. Angels show up in different religions, the Sumerian, the Babylonian, the Egyptian, the Persian. Throughout ancient Greece and Asia Minor are carvings and paintings and etchings of these winged beings. And so we know they go back into ancient times. In the indigenous cultures, angels are a part of that as well, taking many forms, quite often the form of an animal, perhaps the form of a friend, perhaps the form of a melody or a song, whatever. Angels can show up all over the place. Many people that you know have talked about having an encounter with an angel or receiving what they thought was clearly a message of angels. Some of these you may know about and some you may not. If you look at the Bible, of course, Jesus talked about the angels ministering to him. Many characters in the Bible had encounters with what they described as angels. So did Muhammad, Socrates, George Washington, Nikola Tesla, Da Vinci, Emerson, Joan of Arc, and Carl Jung. I think the recent day Martha Beck speaks to it very succinctly when Martha Beck says, whether you've seen angels floating around your bedroom or just a ray of hope at a lonely moment, choosing to believe that something unseen is caring for you can be a life-shifting experience. How many of you know that to be true? That believing that something unseen is caring for you can be a life-altering experience. Anytime a person asks me to pray for them, I'm always praying that they will feel the support that's available for them on both the seen and the unseen realm. If they're in the hospital, my prayer is that the care that they receive from their doctors, their nurses, the healthcare team, that all that survives them, that they'll get the support that they need at that level. But equally, and perhaps even more important, that they will get the support they need on the unseen level. That they'll get the information that they need, that whatever is needed to come in and to reach them, that they'll be available to receive it. The Jewish Talmud says beautifully, very simply and yet very profoundly, that over every blade of grass is an angel that is always whispering, grow, grow, grow. I believe over every newborn baby, over every aged baby. How many of you know you're still a hot baby? There's an angel whispering, honey, grow, grow, grow. Grow into the realization of all that you are. Grow into the capabilities of your soul. Grow, grow, grow. That angels are always whispering that. And so today, what insight can we receive from the angels? And I believe there are many, but I like to, if you've heard me speak at least a dozen times, you know I reduce things to practical points. And I'm going to say there's 4 very powerful encounters that I believe all of you have had or will have or are having. And I want to focus on those 4 encounters that we can have, 4 places that angels meet us. The number one place, the first place, and these are in no particular order, they go side by side, but the first place I want to talk about where angels meet us is where we are afraid. Angels always meet us where we are afraid. So let's look at the Bible story. In the Bible, we say it the Bible story, but actually it's a meshing together predominantly of some scriptures from Matthew, some scriptures from Luke, and then we throw in a turtle dove and other things and call it a Christmas story. But if you look in the Gospel of Matthew, this is basically the Christmas story as we know it to Joseph. And when the angel in that story encounters Joseph, the angel's first words are, fear not. And then if we turn to the Gospel of Luke, and if we look at what the angel Gabriel tells Mary, when the angel encounters Mary, the angel's first words to Mary are, fear not. If we dig deeper into that story and we look at the shepherds, when the shepherds were out in the field tending their sheep at night, and if you're out in the dark and if you're having to take care of sheep in the dark, you really have to be alert and listening. And so when the angels appeared to the shepherds, do you want to guess the first thing they said? You're right, fear not. Now, each of them were being delivered good news. And you might say, well, if an angel's going to show up, and incidentally, the angel to Joseph showed up in a dream. And so we're not necessarily talking about a winged being. It can be a dream. It can be a voice. It can be words on a t-shirt that show up at just the right time. But you may say, well, if an angel is bringing good news to me, why in the world would they need to start with fear not? Well, because angels know us. And I also believe that the angels want us to know they meet us where we are afraid, because the angels are trying to say, don't spend your life trying to be unafraid. Don't spend your life trying to outrun your fears. Don't spend your life trying to buy so much security that you think you don't have to be afraid. What I want you to hear is, don't let your fears stop you here. The angels are saying, I know fear is a human emotion. I know that it's a normal human emotion, but learn to walk with it, because heaven is walking with you. And so angels are meeting you wherever you are afraid. One of the powerful gospels that would convey this is the Gospel of Charlie Brown. How many of you have seen that classic Charlie Brown Christmas? The one you just want to put on your PJs and get some hot chocolate and find a kid somewhere and sit down and watch that. It just is special. If you watch that, and the main character, Charlie Brown, he reaches a point that he's trying to find the perfect tree. He's trying to create the perfect Christmas pageant, and he just gets frustrated, and he finally stops and says, can somebody tell me the real meaning of Christmas? And his friend Linus, and Linus is always holding on to his what? His blanket, his security blanket. Linus, who's always holding that blanket, says, I can tell you, Charlie Brown. And Linus climbs up on the stage where they've been rehearsing the pageant, and Linus begins to recant the Christmas story. And then Linus says, and the angel appeared unto them and said, fear not. And he drops the blanket. Go back and watch it. It's subtle, but it's powerful. Because the message is, fear not. When you hear the angels say, fear not, they're saying, can you let go of what you're holding, that you may discover what's holding you? Can you let go of what has you stuck? Can you let go of anything you're holding on to, any insecurity, any fear, anything that you don't ever want? Can you let go of it? And not let it go away, but can you let go of it to the extent that you can discover what is holding you and it? What is big enough to hold you? Like the parent that holds the child, the gift in that is the parent holds the child and the boo-boos and the worries and the fears, because there's a presence that is big enough to hold you and whatever you're holding. That is, I think, the most powerful Christmas message is, can you let go and be held? And so the angels absolutely meet us where our fears are. Mark Nepo, the great writer, cancer survivor, Mark Nepo says, the things that frighten us just want to be held. Isn't that beautiful? So angels meet us where we are afraid. The second one is that angels meet us where there are opportunities. Have you ever noticed that fear and opportunity kind of go hand in hand? That anytime there's an opportunity, there may also be some fear. Angels are always meeting us wherever there is opportunity. The Sufi poet Rumi wrote, let yourself be silently drawn by the pull of what you really love. It will not lead you astray. When you're drawn to what you love, when you are drawn and begin to pay attention and notice those opportunities, I can assure you that your heavenly support team, that the angels are right there wanting to help you discover something new. I remember when I was in the seminary, I graduated from Unity Institute in 2004. And a few months before we were going to graduate, we were told it's time to get your minister resume together. You're going to be graduating soon. If you want to work with a church, you're going to have to go interview and find one. So we were told, get yourself ready, and we were told to apply to at least 3 open churches. Because the rationale was you needed to experience different congregations. You needed to experience the interview process. So they asked us, find 3 and send out your resume. Well, I looked at the long list of open churches, but for me, there was only one. It was Unity. There's only one church that I was drawn to, Unity Church of Lawrence. And so I sent my resume and my information to that church, but I knew I was supposed to send it to 2 more, but I just kept getting this gut, like, no, why waste your time? Why waste their time? When my heart was not in it. But I was really strongly drawn to this one. And that felt great until I started hearing how many other classmates were also applying. One of my classmates who had been an attorney, was just brilliant mind and different. And I'm thinking, oh my God, they're gonna, I would hire them instead of me. So I'm starting to second guess myself. But every time I tune within, it's like, no, trust yourself. And I would notice how I was so drawn to that. Well, right about that time, our class took a class trip and went to the Pacific Northwest, where we were visiting different churches to see how they did ministry. And one of my classmates, Rudy England, another attorney, by the way, there was a lot of attorneys in my class. Rudy and I went out to dinner one night when we were somewhere in Oregon, I believe. And we sat down, and he was telling me about where he applied. And he said, so where are you applying? And I said, I'm only applying to Lawrence. I really only feel drawn. And he said, really? They told us to apply to 3. And I said, I know, but I just feel drawn. And right at that moment, they came and they seated another couple right beside us. And as the husband came around and sat down, the back of his shirt had one word on it. You want to guess what it was? Lawrence. I looked over and he looked at it. He said, I don't think you have to worry. I'll never forget that. And I think for me it was a teaching. It was a teaching to say, recognize this feeling, trust this feeling. But here's the other part of the teaching. When you commit to recognize the feeling and trust the feeling, I applied and I did get the job. But if I had applied and I did not get the job, I then would not have called it a mistake. I would have been invested in looking for the blessing, because I would have known, even though it may not have turned out like I thought it was, there was still a reason, there was still a blessing. Sometimes your guidance and your doing things is far more about somebody else than it is about you. The key is to look for the blessing. So angels meet us when we're afraid. Angels meet us when there is opportunity. And angels absolutely meet us where we wrestle. Anybody wrestling with anything in your life? Any bit of struggle? I was thinking about this. This point came to me when my little dog Ari, I was taking her for a walk, and the weather's getting cooler. And so before we go for a walk, I now put her sweater on. It's not quite coat weather, but it's sweater weather. And I find myself, if you've ever tried to get a sweater over a dog's head and then fish out the 2 front paws, I find myself saying, honey, this is not a wrestling match. This is a blessing. Let me get this sweater on you. And I heard myself say that a few times, honey, this is not a wrestling match. This is a blessing. And for me, it brought me to a story I often heard growing up from the Bible. In Genesis, have any of you ever heard about Jacob who wrestled with an angel? You see, in the story in the Bible, Jacob and Esau were brothers. Not only were they brothers, they were twins. But Esau came out first. Esau was simply a few minutes older than Jacob. But in that culture, that was huge, because the oldest son received the father's blessing. The oldest son received the majority of the family estate. And so if you were a twin who came out just a few seconds probably later, you may be a little miffed about that the brother made it out first. And so Jacob grew up and learned to be quite the deceiver. The name Jacob means supplanter or trickster. And if you know the story, Jacob tricked his brother and stole his birthright. Jacob tricked his blind father into blessing him instead of his brother. And so Jacob had acquired all that he had acquired through tricking, through deceiving. And there comes a time when Jacob is growing up and he's maturing and he realizes the error of his way, and he doesn't want to do that. And that's when he encounters an angel, and the scripture says, and he wrestled with the angel. Now, the scripture doesn't say the angel wrestled with him. I don't believe angels wrestle us, although I have felt like a few times I've been wrestled down. But it says he wrestled with the angel until he received his blessing. You see, what happened is in his life is Jacob, who had a lot of reasons to be frustrated about his plight in life. He had a lot of reasons to be frustrated about things that were unfair that he couldn't control. He had a lot of reasons to be upset. But there comes a time in our life when we have to say, you know what? I'm not going to focus on that. I'm going to shift and I'm going to say, how can I be a blessing? How can you use me to be a blessing? And so those places that we're wrestling in our life, the key to that, the angels are saying, look for the blessing. Look to be a blessing. Jacob's name was changed to Israel. And so today when we talk about the children of Israel, we're not talking about the children from a geographic location. We're talking about the descendants of Jacob. Jacob, known as Israel, is the father, the patriarch of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. He was made into a great man because he realized the errors of his way. He realized that the things he wrestled with were literally leading him to say, how can I be a blessing? Richard, would you give me that song? The angels meet us wherever there is fear. The angels meet us wherever there is opportunity. The angels meet us wherever we're wrestling. Now, you may need to redefine angel, that angel is not simply a winged being. An angel can be an idea that carries the vibration of healing, of love. Perhaps suspend trying to reduce angels to any form and begin to really understand and see that really what an angel is, that an angel is always that energy that is connecting us to love. The angels are the energy that is connecting us to God, to love, that are wanting us to hear, to know, to open. So angels meet us where there's fear, where there's opportunity, where we wrestle, and there are blessings. And finally, angels meet us everywhere with love. There's nowhere you can be where spirit cannot reach you. Angels meet us everywhere, and here's the key, with love. My first church, Lawrence, Kansas, early 2007. One of the dear members in the congregation, there's a university, so we had a lot of professors, retired teachers who attended the church. We also had a large number of Jewish people who attended the church, and this man, Bob Lewis, was part of the Jewish community. He's very much unity. He was also very involved in social justice, social activism. He was well known and loved in the community. He was in his mid-80s. And he came to me the very first part of 2007 and said, Rev, I want to meet with you. So we met, and he said, I've been diagnosed with terminal cancer. And I was like, Bob. His name is Bob Lewis. And he went on to tell me he had seen several doctors and he knew the prognosis, and they were told he had a few months at best. And he said, as my minister, I'm going to ask something of you. Will you meet with me on a regular basis? Because I need to tell everybody something. He just had this real need to confess, express. And he said, and if I tell you everything, you'll be able to give one hell of a eulogy, was what he told me. And I was honestly terrified. Of course I said yes. But I was terrified because I thought, oh my God, he's going to ask me for all these answers I don't have. And so the first meeting, we sat down and we met, and he looked right at me and said, Rev, what do you know about dying? Rev, what do you believe about death? And I thought, I knew it. He's going to ask me all these existential questions. And before I could even answer, he kept talking. Never once did he really want me to answer. And you see, I've come to understand that at those times, what he was really asking me to do, and he may not have known it, but he was asking, can you create a sacred space for me so that I can ask my questions and allow my truth and my angels to speak to me? So I learned how to be quiet. And I listened to that man pour out and told just an incredible life story. And he told all the details and all the stories. And as the weeks progressed, he shifted, and rather than talking about his life, he began to talk about dying. Now, anyone that knew Bob Lewis, and those of you from Lawrence tuning in, you knew Bob. He had a bumper sticker on his card that said, love is the key. Every email he sent, he ended it with love is the key. Every conversation, every time we left, he'd say, bye, Rev, love's the key. Love is the key. Everybody that knew Bob, love is the key. That was his thing. As we had been meeting for a few weeks, he finally said, I know how to die because I know how to live. He said, I'll tell you the key, Rev. Love is the key. Because you die the way you live, and for me, love is the key. We met up until right at the beginning of April. The last time I met with him, he said the same thing. I'm not afraid to die. Love is the key. And he said, and I'm going to come back and remind you. I said, I hope you will. And I did his memorial service just a couple of weeks later. Standing room only. We had to rent a bigger church. He was that kind of guy. And I was able to give one hell of a eulogy because I knew every detail of that man's life. It was an incredible gift. And so fast forward, that was April 2007. So December 2007, I have a 4-week break from seminary. So I drive back to North Carolina. And I've been staying with my parents for about 2.5 weeks when Christmas rolls around. Now, has any of you as an adult gone back to live with your family of origin? It's an interesting dynamic. This is like Christmas Eve, and I was starting to feel edgy. And it's, you're in somebody else's space. We have very different beliefs. And I was finding myself a little bit edgy. And my mom needed a couple things. And I'm like, I'll go to the grocery store. I'll be glad to go. What do you need? Just give me that list. And so I got out, went to the grocery store. And as I was heading to the grocery store and I was driving, all of a sudden, Bob Lewis, I could just popped in. I could just feel Bob. And I just smiled and I thought about Bob. Stopped at the stoplight, and I kid you not, I looked at the car in front of me, and there was a bumper sticker that said, love is the key. Something just came over me. Tears streamed. I got home. I brought the stuff in and I hugged my mom. My mom said, honey, you need to go to the grocery store more often. It had just shifted me. Well, Bob visited me again this week and gave me this point and reminded me, love is the key. Love is the key. The angels, that the energy of heaven and earth are dancing together, that you may know, don't let your fears hold you back. Don't let your opportunities sidetrack you. Don't let the wrestling be in vain. Open to the blessing. And for heaven's sake, know that wherever you are, heaven is, and love is the key. Love is always there. So the last piece is if the angels, when you really start thinking about angels, lots of synchronicity happen. I can't tell you how many times this week I looked at the clock at 222, 333, 444, 111. Things like that happen a lot. But early in the week, it was Tuesday or Wednesday, I usually select the music for our services, and I was thinking about what song would possibly go with this message. And once again, I kid you not, Reverend Jane Nelson, who's one of our members who now lives 5 hours away, I had already sent music to Mary Kay and the band, and I was working on the meditation song, and my phone goes off, and I look, and it's Reverend Jane Nelson who says, I think this song by Melanie DeMore, Sending You Light, would be a great song for Christmas. Bingo, there it is. So we're going to anchor this and trust that this is. So I'm going to invite you to close your eyes and just know that the angels, that heaven is sending this to you that says, I'm sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. No matter where you go, no matter where you've been, you'll never walk alone. I'm right here deep within. So I'm sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. No matter what you feel or what you choose to show, I'm always there for you. So I want you to know I'm sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I'm sending you light to hold you in love. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I'm sending you light to hold you in love. I walk the path with you. Go slow, dear one, don't hurry. I'll go just like you need. There is no need to worry, 'cause I'm sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I'm sending you light to hold you in love. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I'm sending you light to hold you in love. Just allow that love to reach you. But I'm sending you light. I am that I am. I am is not a name. It is that which precedes form or name. I am can be understood as the forming of, the connecting of, the essence of. I am is the essence of all that you are. And all that you are is the essence of all that I am. For we are one, and in that we mean that we are of the same Spirit. And yet not one as in a single expression, but one as is a spirit that is so whole and holy that it contains all that is. And the truth is, you can never be disconnected. And so ask and believe and receive. if you will notice the synchronicities in your life, if you will notice the people that show up and do things that are like an angel, if you will notice when you do something that is of help, if you will begin to acknowledge the support of heaven, the unseen, you will be amazed at how you would begin to see through confusion, see through fear, see through obstacles, see through your wrestling, and see your way to the blessing. Heaven and earth are conspiring for you to know that you are the place where heaven and earth rejoices and shows up and comes out to play and live and dance and love. So in this season of lights, open your heart, open your eyes. Open yourself to be more kind, more extending, more initiatory in taking acts and actions of love. Open yourself to notice and give thanks for all that you receive, for it says you got it and you're ready for the next. So I'm sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I'm sending you light to hold you in love. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. So I invite you to open your eyes, to wiggle your fingers and your toes, and to stand. And those of you virtual, if you can stand as well, please stand if you can. Obviously, if you're driving, don't try to stand. But for those of you that can stand, look at someone or something and just see them held in love. Give them the gift. See them, see it, held in love. See them held in love. And now give yourself a hug and see yourself held in love. So I'm sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I'm sending you light to hold you in love. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I'm sending you light to hold you in love. Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Merry Holidays, all of them. Oh, thank you. You may be seated. You are welcome. And let's give a hand to the angels. They showed up this week. Thank you, angels. Thank you, angels. If you have some around your house at Christmas, just love on them and let them love on you. I want to thank you for your presence. I want to thank you for your support. You know, after these services, I could just kiss all of you. I won't, but you just bring me to that place of love, and I trust that it takes you there. I know it does, because one of you told me one Sunday if I was any happier when I left, I'd levitate. So I want to thank you for your support. Judy McCowan, where are you? Judy and her husband Steve were on an excursion for most of the summer, traveling across the United States. How many Unity churches did you visit? They visited 10 Unity churches this trip. How many of you visited? 54. We appreciate that you always come home. Judy, would you please stand up? Judy is a retired CPA. That's why she can travel around the United States these days. But she just does a beautiful job of helping us steward our finances. I want to thank each and every one of you. This time in the year, we are strong in the black. I want to thank her for seeing to that. We've had some extraordinary things happen this year. And I just want to think that's what happens when everybody does what's theirs to do, because it's growing us to be what we need to be. Judy, we thank you for your help. I really want to thank you for that. Yeah. Thank you for your continued support to our online givers. You've been very faithful. We want to thank you for being committed financially as well. Kat Williams was going to be with us today, and she's a little under the weather. So I said, Mary Kay, do you think you can sing this song instead? And she said, let me see. Y'all listen, I'm just saying. Come on, Mary Kay.
I need the angels right about now. I let it go. I release the thing I'm clinging to. I release what's holding me, and I'm falling into God's love. I let it be. There's nothing more for me to do, nothing more to say. I'm just falling into God's love. can't see. On the wings of love I fly. God lift me up to the sky. I open my wings and I fly. God lift me up to the sky, falling into God's love. God lift me up to the sky. I spread my wings and I fly. God lift me up to the sky, and I'm falling into God's love. Woo!
Oh, Mary Kay, I hope you take that love in. I see you behind the stage. I know who you are. You are the real deal, genuine. She sings from her heart. That was angels showing up where this opportunity is, for sure. Would you please stand? We're going to bring this service to close with the prayer that says, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Have a wonderful week. Thank you for being here. They're going to sing us out. Hit it again.